Welcome into the Sports Buffoons podcast.
What's up, everybody? Welcome on into the Sports Buffoons. My name's Tanner. Got JG across from me. This feels like an episode of the Fantasy Footballers. We have an open space where Mike sits. I'm over here and you're over there, and same sides. Like we didn't switch anything up.
Yeah, there is no difference. I mean, basically, Mike is here in spirit, so it's like, even if he's not here, he's actually here. If that makes any sense.
It's correct.
So.
It's correct. Mike's down in lovely Mexico right now, having the time of his life. So, you know, we hope he has a blast upon week one that is coming up this weekend. So
he's actually hammered. The last time I checked,
he's been hammered.
He's been hammered for like 3 days straight. I think.
Since the plane ride. Since the plane ride, dude. He's been drinking. So, but anyways, it should be a blast for him there because we have a great show today still between JG and I. We're going to talk the Chiefs Ravens preview, of course, for week one. We're going to talk some Royals playoff updates here and give you our thoughts. Maybe spin it positive, maybe spin it negative as it should. And the return of the easy money bet comes at the end of the show. So make sure you guys stay tuned. We got a great lineup, and the question of the day, will I bet college? Will I bet college?
I hope not, because
we're going to find out, dude.
You're so good at UFC betting, and you are so horrible, god-awful at college football. I was just like, dude, I am begging you to just quit college football and become a professional UFC better, because like you're undefeated.
I can bet against you guys,
but you're undefeated in these UFC bets. So I just don't understand why you continue to basically do the definition of insanity, which is do the same thing over and over again, expect a different result. Just freaking quit, dude, because you're good at what you do, which is UFC betting.
Well, if you guys do want to know more about UFC, head over to the Bakken Show. He pulls on every night. Wednesday night, he pulls out the head kicks and haymakers, and they talk rankings, they talk fights, they talk previews, and I've learned a lot of stuff from them. So go check them out while you're at it. All right, JG, did you have something before we begin the Chiefs here?
Nah, I was just gonna thank you actually for joining me at the casino. So we had a great night at the casino, as we always do, as professional gamblers. But what I wanted to talk about is the fact that I got a chance. I think it was a week ago Friday. I actually got a chance to play cards. I'm not going to tell you the name of the game, and I'm not going to tell you where I was, but I got to play cards with the Chiefs' first-round draft pick, Xavier Worthy.
Oh,
and let me tell you, this guy's a stud. Like if he wasn't so fast, if he wasn't such a great football player, I would tell him to quit and just go full-time cards, because this guy's an amazing card player. It could have been blackjack, probably not. I'm not going to tell you which game, because I don't want you trolls out there following this guy around. But for me personally, it was just like a great time, and had fun playing cards with my boy Xavier Worthy.
Well, let's hope there's no bad luck that turns into it. I think there was a time we went to training camp, or maybe it wasn't training camp, maybe it was somewhere else, and you shook somebody's hand, and then there was a curse that season. I don't remember what season it was.
You're making that up, bro.
So
you're making that up.
Let's hope it doesn't happen.
I almost got Mahomes' autograph in his rookie year when we were at camp. But there was literally 12
kids.
You
did, yeah.
Yeah, it was 12 children in front of me. I was like, okay, I don't need the autograph. Let's get these kids in here in front of me, who still pretends to be a 12-year-old sometimes.
The only modern Chiefs autograph I've had is Dave Tope, Coach Dave Tope. He was right there on the fence, and he was signing. He was right next to me, so I just pulled my hat off and said, "Would you mind?" I didn't need it. I was just asking if he would. He's like, "Yeah, sure." He signed it. So.
Oh, I think you needed it. Yeah, that you probably.
I mean, Coach Dave Tope. I'll take Coach Dave.
You
Tope
probably made a fortune off of that after you sold it on eBay.
Still in my hat, man. Still have my hat. So
you need to sell that thing, man. That's pretty valuable.
I was waiting for him to retire as the greatest special teams coach ever. So that's what I was hoping for.
Yeah. Well, I sold all of my Mahomes autographs.
Yep.
But it is what it is. I'll get another one someday.
It's out there, man. It's out there. All right, guys, let's jump into it here. We got already a comment out here. That's what it was. It was Mike. Mike was the bad luck. He shook Jeremy Guthrie's and James Shields' hands at Rockfest, and then they shit the bed for 2 months.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That was Mike. That was the one I was thinking of. Was that?
And that was 2014, correct?
Correct.
When they went on the tear in the playoffs.
I can't remember what it was. It was 14 or 15. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet it was 14.
But yeah, that was all Mike's fault. So yeah, so there it was. Thank you, Mike, for chiming in there. Hope you're having fun. So let's get into it, guys. Baltimore, KC, tomorrow night. First game of the NFL regular season, week 1. It's going to be a blast. It's going to be a fun time here. Right now, the Chiefs are favored, minus 149, minus 3 favorites, and it stayed minus 3 for all week long, which I'm actually surprised on. We didn't see a closer to pick them. So over under is 46 and a half coming into this game here. Now, I think I didn't check the weather yet. Jason, I don't know if you checked the weather, but
I never check the weather because I don't bet on sports. Allegedly.
Allegedly. Only Jason. But I thought it was supposed to change up tomorrow night while in KC. Now it might be after the game when this all changes up for the matchup. I'm actually getting ready to view it here. But would the weather concern you for this game at all? So no change up. It'll change up after. It'll be change up later on. So we're looking at 80 degrees, very light winds, 4 miles, 5 miles an hour, and partly cloudy skies. We're looking at a perfect Thursday night in Arrowhead Stadium with opening the NFL season.
I don't really care about the weather this time of year. If I had any concerns about the weather, it'd be in that Brazil game where it's probably going to be hotter than hell down there in Brazil. And not to mention that you probably have more heat from all of the firearms that exist down there. And
it's only going to be 60 degrees in Brazil, man.
No kidding.
Yeah, it's going to be a nice night in Brazil.
Okay.
So 6 miles per hour winds, great night. So
yeah, I mean, I generally don't pay attention to the weather until we get into late October, early November.
Wait for that snow and that cold to happen, and wait for Derek Carr to come somewhere.
I mean, who cares? Whatever the weather is, if you're not prepared to play and it's September, then you shouldn't be on the field at that point.
Right. So we're looking here at this game. I do want to drop the week 1 injury report before we really break it down here. The only guy that did not practice, obviously, is Hollywood Brown. Hollywood Brown's been officially ruled out for week 1. Everybody else is full practice. Tooney, Bolton, Joshua Williams, Chris Jones, Nazi, everybody's full practice, which is what we love to see. James Winchester, full practice. The Baltimore Ravens, on the other hand, are missing another running back with, I believe it's rookie Rasheen Ali. If I'm correct, I'm just going to verify. Yep, I am totally correct. Yep, I'm correct. So rookie Rasheen Ali is left out. Ali Rasheen, I think it is, whatever. And then their offensive linebacker. So other than that, they don't have anybody on injury report. So 2 healthy teams, really healthy teams compared to what we expect out of a preseason here. I guess, Jason, let's start with the offenses here. I do want to break down the offenses a little bit because they are a little different between each team. Let's start with Baltimore. If anything concerns you, I don't know. Derrick Henry being the biggest addition here to the Baltimore offense. Does a Derrick Henry Justice Hill combo scare you in this game?
I don't really care about Justice Hill, but yeah, absolutely. Derrick Henry. I mean, this could be the last time we see an effective Derrick Henry. He could be on the downside of his career after this year. Very well. But I do think he's going to be balling out this year. And when he's on the field, yes, he is always going to concern you. So yeah, definitely Derrick Henry, but more importantly for me is regular season Lamar. I feel like that's kind of the narrative behind Lamar Jackson is like nobody really respects him in the postseason, but in the regular season, we all respect him because he's just a different player. And so I think Lamar is the person I'm going to be watching the closest, particularly on the offense. But when you pair him with a Derrick Henry, I mean, that's just it's going to be amazing to see what they do in week 1. I actually think Baltimore, although they're not the favorite, they got a pretty good chance to win this game.
Does it concern your mind for if you were a Baltimore fan that you were 1-5 against Mahomes?
Not really. I mean, because we've seen a lot of teams, you talk about guys like Joe Burrow and Cincinnati. We've seen teams that can beat Kansas City in the regular season. And so, yeah, I mean, if this was the postseason, Baltimore's going to lose this game. And everybody in the world knows it.
Correct.
But regular season, again, Chiefs, when you're looking at a potential Super Bowl hangover, you've got the Baltimore Ravens revenge game because we beat their ass in the playoffs. And so I think this is an evenly matched game. And so I think that Lamar obviously has a lot to prove, and the Ravens have a lot to prove, quite frankly.
So I do want to notate their receivers are very questionable right now. We know Zay is going to be there. We know Rashad Bateman, right? We know the 1 and 2 there. Nelson Aguilar is your number 3 in this team. Talon Wallace is there as well from 2 years ago in the 4th round. And this year's 4th rounder, of course, Devontae Walker being your guy. So their receiving core is very questionable at best for Lamar. I like a lot of the Mark Andrews as a likely combos coming into play for this team. I like Rashad Bateman get a lot of targets. I think Zay is going to get some targets like last year. And Zay had that key fumble at the end zone in the playoffs. That's going through his head. This is his game to redeem it. And like you said, a revenge game. This is kind of a bounce back game for the Ravens in a way of what they kind of need. But I just gave you the receivers of the Ravens leading up to this game. And then we can talk about the Chiefs receivers. We got to feel good about what the Ravens are bringing in to the era.
Yeah, I mean, Aguilar being your number 3, that's obviously a problem. Honestly, I didn't even know that guy was still in the league. We used to call him a different name. I'm not gonna say it right now because that's another guy that's on the downside of his career. I don't want to disrespect him, but
now he was in New England last year. He was a piece for New England last year.
Yeah, I mean, Aguilar being the number 3, that's a problem. I mean, Derrick Henry, again, guys like that, they're on the downside of the career, but they have a lot to prove, and anything can happen in week 1. So however bad you think the Ravens are going to be throughout the course of the season, and I think they will be. I mean, I think they could have some issues. I think if we're rolling into week 9, week 10, and I'm a Ravens fan, and all of a sudden the wheels fall off of Derrick Henry, like we could have some problems. But I think right now, at least for week 1, I mean, I think they're going to be pretty solid. And I know I'm not going to give you my pick right now, but it should be a pretty interesting game.
So we'll switch to the Chiefs offense here. Obviously, we like this a lot. I'm more interested in left tackle Kingsley Samatia. I can't say it like Mike. So, but I like Kingsley a lot. I think Kingsley's going to be very effective. It's going to be interesting to see how he does against a Baltimore line. But Hollywood Brown out. You still have, 2, 5, 6. So you still have 6 receivers active, right? Most likely, right? So you're going to have Worthy, Rashee Rice, Sky Moore, Justin Watson, Juju, and Mecole. Now, Juju being the new addition. First off, why? Second off, what's your reaction when you heard that Juju news?
I was okay with it just because, I mean, obviously he's got familiarity there, so he knows the offense. But I think he's going to be good in terms of being a locker room guy.
Yeah.
Because we all know that his knees are a little bit different than they were when he was with Pittsburgh. So he's not going to be a guy that's going to give you 900 or 800 yards this year. I'm sorry. It's just not going to happen. But I think he's going to be good in the locker room to kind of galvanize that receiver core and just kind of set the example for those guys. And you just never know, man. Like if he's healthy come playoff time, I mean, he could make some key plays down the stretch, but I'm happy they brought Juju Smith-Schuster back. And honestly, like outside of Sky Moore, I love the receiver core, man. I love the fact
Mecole's back.
I mean,
Watson's back.
We're stacked. And not to mention, I told you guys a long time ago, months ago, I was like, Rashee Rice is not going to miss any games this year. And I knew it wasn't going to happen. So it's going to be solid. Now it's all about Xavier Worthy for me. Now we're going to find out, is he as good of a football player as he is playing cards with the JG in a sort of a casino or maybe like a backyard card game, whatever you want to call it. He's an amazing card player. Now we're going to figure out if this guy is a real football player, and I believe he is. And I think he's going to surprise a lot of people this year.
Yeah, no, it should be interesting there. I think obviously Worthy's got a hell of a year this year, whether Hollywood Brown's in or not. The Juju move was very questionable for me because it's a guy that never was healthy the whole entire New England season, but you also got him on the cheap, right? New England's paying still most of that salary. Juju got his money. Now he's back with the Chiefs. And it could just be a locker room move. It could be a guy that's familiar with the system, right? This guy took the Justin Ross, basically roster spot in the end to bring him back. So you left Justin Ross off the roster, brought in Juju to replace him, right? And that could be, you very well could be right on the Juju situation. Can he stay healthy? Can he be healthy? Can he do anything remotely? I don't think we need him to be a number one, obviously, but I think we need him there if he's going to be on the roster. We need some kind of production. We can't have New England production on this team. So it just very well questions me because you lose a roster spot to somebody that might have maybe had a chance to make a shine for himself, aka Justin Ross. So, but that was kind of my question there. I mean, outside of that, Carson Steele being the number 2 over Samaje, we love that move. You hate that move?
I mean, to me, Samaje Perine has kind of proven himself in the league.
Yeah.
And I feel like those guys to me are kind of even. So, you know, I love Carson Steele. I like Samaje Perine. So it's kind of one of those things. Let's just see how it goes. But I think that Perine is a guy that you can just kind of trust down the stretch. I mean, he's a veteran, and I like the fact that we got those two guys as the number 2 and number 3.
Look, we got some returning guys too, right? Joe Thuney comes back. I'm excited to see him back at left guard. A full, healthy offensive line for Matt Patrick Mahomes and Isaiah Pacheco. I'm interested more in the tight end sets in this here. Jared Wiley. We traded for Peyton Hendershot from Dallas, cut over Smith. And that's a guy that Veach was really liking was Peyton there. And so I'm really interested to see exactly what kind of schemes, who we keep active in the end as we get closer to the game. I guess defensive wise, right? So Baltimore lost a lot of guys. Baltimore lost Patrick Queen, huge linebacker for them there. They lost a few other pieces going into the offseason here. I guess just usually the Baltimore's defense is the thing that scares you the most, right? It's not really, Lamar's there, Mark Andrews is there. We got Derrick Henry, sure. But you're telling me that losing a Patrick Queen and an aging Roquan Smith, who still a beast, aging Roquan Smith is there. The defensive line is a bunch of no names for me right now. And the safeties is the only thing that can save them. They did get Marcus Williams from New Orleans there for starting, but outside of that, their depth sucks at defense. This does not look on paper the same kind of Baltimore defense that we've seen in the past. Does this scare you, JG, at all? Like, are you worried about Baltimore defense in this game?
I mean, if I was a Baltimore fan, just looking at the full season situation, I wouldn't be too worried about it. Now, granted, their defense is not going to be as good. Okay, you can take that to the bank. Not going to be as good as last year, but they're not going to tank. And one of the reasons why is because they did bring in Derrick Henry, and what Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson are going to be able to do is milk the clock.
They're going
to be able to keep
that
defense off the field for a long period of time. So they're going to be getting more rest.
Okay.
But again, don't expect this to be the Baltimore defense from last year, but they're definitely going to be good enough, I think, to be, let's say, the top 12, top 15 in the league, that's all you really need from Baltimore defense.
I will give them credit here. Their starting lineup right now for the defense side is a bunch of 3-and-1s. So 3rd-round picks, 1st-round picks for that defense there. So obviously they built depth in that using that draft capital there. For that, I'm just a little worried about their depth. I think their best depth player piece right now is Ojabo from a couple years ago, and he looked good towards the end of the year, but that's about it. So I'm a little worried there for Baltimore, but I mean the Chiefs here retained pieces, right? They got rid of L'Jarius Sneed, and that was really your biggest move in the end. Willie Gay was also a big piece that you left off as well, but I mean they ended up keeping Trent McDuffie, Najee Johnson, Jalen Watson, Joshua Williams, Chamari Connor, and Chris Roland Wallace, which is an unsigned free agent that they ended up keeping over Nick Jones. So they let Nick Jones go. I think Roland Wallace came from Dallas as well for that. So you let Nick Jones walk, right? Who was a great piece for us in the Super Bowl run. And you brought in a guy from Dallas and Roland Wallace where you're sitting here like, all right, can this guy be a depth piece at all? Now, probably just a special teamers in the end, which is fine. But Jaden Hicks making this team as a 4th round, being big in that. And they only kept 3 safeties in the end. So you let we talked about Bush being gone. Bush was gone. You let Nick Jones gone, right? So it's interesting to see how they shaped up the secondary. The front 7, I have no worries about, man. By the way, Pennell coming back. I don't know if you remember the Titans game a few years back. Mike and I were talking about in the chat. Pennell was the guy that stopped Derrick Henry. Pennell was the guy that contained the Titans' Derrick Henry a couple of years ago when he was a monster. Having Pennell there in the depth with Noddy now healthy as well, that should be a monster defensive tackle. So you're not going to run up their way. So I love the Chiefs defense. I love the fact that they didn't really change much in the end. Jack Cochran, of course, was the only linebacker that made it outside of Cam Jones. So what's your thoughts, man? I need to know, like, we got to be feeling great about Chiefs defense going in after last year's performance to this year. And starting Chris Jones.
Yeah, I mean, I think my favorite thing about the Chiefs defense right now, the first thing that I think about is obviously Chris Jones, but the fact that, and, you guys know I'm a big bettor out there. So when I saw that 9.5 sacks for George Karlaftis for the season, I'm just like, dude, like, can I just take my life savings and bet the over on that right now? Because, he's not at the level. We all know he's not at the level of a Chris Jones, or, he's not going to be like some all-pro guy, but he's going to hit the over on that. And so I do expect a big year this year for George Karlaftis. And over 9.5 sacks, you guys.
I love it, dude.
Take it to the bank. I'm not on my big dick bets segment yet, or never mind. Easy money bet.
Easy
I
money
should
bet.
have said that.
Easy money bet.
I love that 9.5 sacks, but yeah, I love the D-line situation. Obviously, Trent McDuffie, we're gonna have to figure out a way to get him paid probably next year. But I mean, I love the way it looks right now.
I do love the fact that we had Jalen Watson sit out all preseason. You had Najee Johnson sit out most of the preseason, and now they're back healthy. You got a full squad ready to go in the corners. Jalen Watson is your number 2. As we discussed a couple weeks ago, right? We discussed Jalen Watson should be the number 2. He is the number 2. Look, I'm excited for this defense here. I'm excited to watch them. And I do like your George Karlaftis. I think he gets a couple here this game. Lamar going on the outside, gets in trouble, gets trapped. You're talking about a little spy by Drew Chankwell. That pauses him, and Karlaftis takes care of business. So it's very possible you get a couple sacks here, Jason, for towards that bet there. So we do have a video that I would like to play from Mike for the Chiefs here. And then JG and I can comment about it if we like what he said, if we didn't like what he said. This guy's coming from Mexico, right? He's putting on a video after being on an island all day long in the middle of the ocean.
I won't like it unless he's hammered. Then I might like it.
There was free drinks on there.
Just a little bit.
That's all I know. There's free drinks on there and tequila. So let's see exactly how this plays out.
All right, guys. Welcome to Playa del Carmen, Mexico, of course, if you missed it from earlier. So, guys, we have the matchup of the week, the one we've all been waiting for. The NFL season is finally upon us. We have the Chiefs and Ravens here on Thursday Night Football, which I am pumped to see go down. Ignore the sunburn, guys. It's just temporary. There was a lot of sunbathing going on over the past few days. But, guys, this one's going to be awesome. I love Chiefs versus Ravens rivalry, if you want to call it that. I always feel like that's a situation where the Chiefs have had the upper hand in the past. Lamar Jackson said he doesn't like playing against Patrick Mahomes. Who would? but at least he's honest about it. Chiefs took care of them in the playoffs, and I fully expect the Chiefs come out and do the same as always. I mean, this time's going to be a little different, though, because this time the Chiefs actually have a little more offensive firepower than before since the last time the Ravens saw us in the playoffs. And so I'm excited to watch the deep ball. The deep ball is back in Kansas City, guys. And this time it's not one-dimensional. It's not just to a guy named Tyreek Hill anymore. Because that was the last deep ball threat we truly had here. Now there's going to be a wide variety of different guys that are able to go deep for this offense, which is going to be awesome. It's going to open things up a little bit for Pacheco underneath as well, and Travis Kelce. But the Ravens are not a cakewalk by any means, especially with the addition of Derrick Henry to the offense, which I think is a perfect situation for Derrick Henry to keep that career going, even though he's getting older, got some tread in the tires. I still think him with Lamar Jackson paired is awesome. So at the end of the day, for me, the Chiefs defense is going to be my biggest concern in this game, primarily because I think the linebackers have something to prove right now. Obviously losing Willie Gay is a big deal, but I feel like there's something missing a little bit with the linebacker core that I think can be an issue in this game, especially covering two really good tight ends, of course. You got Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely. So I think those guys will be the primary threats in the receiving game for the Ravens. Look for Zay Flowers, but at the same time, we got Trent McDuffie, man. It's going to be a fair showing for McDuffie along the way, too. So, guys, for me, look for a high-scoring game. I'm taking the over on the points for the total, taking the over on the Holmes passing yards, got the over on Pacheco receiving yards, and I like Rashee Rice to probably have 7 to 8 catches in this game, something like that. So, for me, guys, I got to go with my homer take, man. We are the Sports Buffoons, but, why would I bet against the Super Bowl champions? And especially a situation where the offense improved, and we know the team very, very well that we're playing against. So, yep, this one's going to be easy for me. Take the gosh darn Chiefs to win in this game, and I got some game day souvenirs along while I've been out here. So I like 34-24 Chiefs.
I'm still trying to figure out if he's wearing a shirt or if that's a robe. I think he's in the
shirt,
spa.
man. It's a shirt.
It reminded me of when I went to the spa the other day, and they give you like a robe. He looks like he's wearing a robe.
It does.
And like all these probably hot chicks are just bringing him drinks.
I don't know, man. It looks like
doing
looks like
God
a shirt
knows
to me,
what.
but I don't know. Hey, man, he got a new sombrero, so he's coming home with the sombrero. So we got that other one over there for you if you want it. So
that's pretty awesome.
So Mike out here obviously was talking about the linebackers for the Chiefs, right? So, you got Drew Tranquill, Nick Bolton, and Chenal. But you got Cochran, who's also a hothead, which is okay for a linebacker. But I hope he doesn't cause any big penalties in Cam Jones. So you got 5 linebackers coming in this game. He just mentioned, like you say, he just talked about the linebackers being the concern. Nick Bolton, who's been dealing off and on injuries for the last year, and he dealt with it this offseason here. And Leo Chenal, who hasn't had a full-time starting role yet, is now moving into the full-time starting role in place for Willie Gay. Can he provide coverage on the outside? Is that why you got Cam Jones, come into play? So I agree from that process, what he said there on the linebackers, because I do feel that there is some showing that needs to be proved here in this game. What about you?
Those are the guys that he talked about: Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely. I mean, those are the guys that they're going to trust, Baltimore, in the passing game. And
they too, like Zay and Rashad, because they've been around.
Yeah, so. but Mark Andrews has always been the guy. Like that's always been Lamar's number one guy that he looks to first.
As long as he's healthy in the end.
And, Isaiah Likely, obviously, but Mark Andrews is a guy that he gets injured a lot throughout the course of the season. And so, but you're in week 1. I mean, I agree with Mike on that. They're going to be pounding it. I mean, Lamar Jackson loves Mark Andrews.
But why wouldn't you,
I mean, it's almost like he's not going to look at anybody else until the guy gets injured, and then he has to start looking at other players. But yeah, I totally agree with Mike on that. And that's, if I'm prepping for this game as Steve Spagnuolo, Absolutely. I'm looking at that tight end position, and those are the guys I've got to stop.
I'm looking at that combo right there of Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely outside of Derrick Henry and Zay Flowers. So now Bateman has a lot to prove for me. So like, I'm not worried about Jalen Watson. I'm not worried about Shamari Connor in that mix, even Jaden Hicks when he gets it, Joshua Williams. So I think Bateman has a lot to prove by himself on that on that aspect. So like, you're looking at Derrick Henry, 2 tight end sets between Likely and Andrews, and Zay Flowers as their weapons to defend against.
Yeah, that's pretty much
You're
it.
telling me Spags can't do that?
I
And a running quarterback, that doesn't matter. So
you just never know with some of these games. You never know with some of these
it's
games.
early.
And
It's early. That's fine.
I believe that the Chiefs need to, we talked about the fact that this is a revenge game for the Ravens. I also believe that this should be a revenge game for the Chiefs in some ways because they got their ass kicked in week 1 last year.
That they did.
And so I do put some stock into that.
We know why they got their ass kicked in week 1.
Yes.
We know why.
Yeah, we know
And he's
why.
not on the team right now.
But again, you still got the Super Bowl hangover factor.
Yeah.
And that is a factor no matter how much. I mean, these guys have probably been partying for God knows how long. And so, it should be a good game. I mean, I don't see Baltimore getting pummeled in this game. I'll put it.
No.
I think it's going to be a close game.
It's -3 for a reason. I don't see a blowout happening. I don't see this thing being a 10-point blowout or 14-point blowout, right? But I do see it in different aspects. So let's get our predictions out of the way, Jason, here, so we can move on to some Royals talk. But what are we thinking here? What's your predictions for week 1 of the NFL season with the Baltimore Ravens and Kansas City Chiefs?
All right, I'm pulling it up right now. So
-3.
go. So I told you I'm in a confidence league.
Yes, you
at
did.
my church, and I kind of put it. I've got a lot of Chiefs fans in this league, and so I kind of put them in the middle there. I'm gonna go with. Let's go low scoring. Okay, coming right out of the gate, week 1. Everybody's rusty.
Under.
Okay.
46.
I'm going to go. Let's go 21-17 Chiefs.
I don't like that little score, man. I don't like when you say 21 for the Chiefs.
I'm just saying it's been known to happen where these teams come out rusty. So I'm just going to go low here, 21-17 Chiefs, which that would be covering, right?
It would
would be covering.
Right? Yeah, that would be under. So you would technically be under that 46.
But they're going to cover the spread too.
-3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct. Which is at +100 on ESPN Bet right now.
I'm gonna go low here, man. That's just how I feel coming out of the gate.
Look, I like the Chiefs in this game here. I don't think it's gonna be that quite low. I like the over, like Mike said, on 46.5. So for me, I'm gonna go somewhere in the 30s. So I'm gonna probably go. Let's just guesstimate here. I'll go 33-27 Chiefs. So we cover the -3 as I already had out there as of a few days ago, and we cover that over. So
yeah, I mean it's 46.5.
Yeah,
but
it's a low score.
You know who else needs to make a name for themselves in week 1? It's the officials. So that's kind of why I take the under in week 1, man. And after that
we got to set the example.
So the over-under is 46.5. Again, big problem with that. I think that the refs, especially in week one, they want to make a name for themselves. And also the players are going to come out rusty. So that's why I did 21-17 Chiefs. I am going to take the under in this game.
I still like the over here. I really do. But anyways, that's great. There we got our predictions out of the way. Can't wait for tomorrow night and as we move on. So, all right, let's talk about it, Jason. I know we don't want to talk about it, but let's talk about it. Let's talk about these damn Royals here. So the Royals lost 7 straight. Last time I saw, we were up tonight.
Got the win.
We did get the
Got
win.
the win.
Okay, that's good. That's good. It's a plus, right? Even though we lost the series once again to a winning team, we did get the win. But playoff chances are looking still there. The division lead obviously is blown. But what's your take here on the Royals here as we continue to move on?
So my take is that we're 5.5 games out of first, and it just feels like it was yesterday where we were in first place, or at least tied for first place. Right now we're 4.5 up on Boston and Detroit for the wild card. So right now we do have a playoff spot. For me, it was just the injury to Vinny Pasquantino that I believe it just really crushed us, because in terms of the team overall, we overachieved this year, and everybody out there knows it. We overachieved. And it kind of bothered me when we took 3 out of 4 from Cleveland. And all I heard was the negativity and all these complainers out there, and just like, man, we should have swept them. And it's just like, dude, we were in first place. Then we had the injury to Vinny Pasquantino. And now here come all the haters. They just want to pile on. Well, you guys, I don't care. The haters were already piling on. When we took 3 out of 4 from Cleveland, the haters were already piling on. So
yeah,
I view this season as a success. Obviously, I'm going to cheer for them, and I'm going to support my team, because I have been supporting my team for my entire life. I'm 47 years old, and I'm never going to stop supporting this team. But it kind of is annoying to me, just as many years as I've seen in this city, as many years as I've gone through with horrific baseball teams. It kind of annoys me right now when you had a team that was in first place. And by the way, nobody except the JG that I'm aware of actually picked them to win the division. And then all of a sudden they came back and they were first place in the division, and just, the ball didn't bounce their way. So we've got an injury right now that we have to deal with, and we'll see what happens. But no matter what, I view this entire season as a success, no matter what. And even if we, it's on the table, we could just miss the playoffs altogether.
Hunter,
But
what's up, man?
Before the injury happened, we were locked in. Nobody believed in us, particularly with the horrible bullpen that we had. So we had bad relief pitchers for the entire season. And so we overachieved. And so I'm going to ride with this team to the end, but it's obviously disappointing for everyone, the fact that Vinny got injured and now we're just kind of tanking. But it should be interesting down the stretch, and I'm still going to root for my team. That's the only thing that matters.
The best part about the Royals here, outside of so Vinny was the 4th best in the MLB, I believe, for RBIs leading to the injury, which sucks for them tremendously. But the best part about the Royals here, all you got to get through is a couple more weeks of good team stretches, right? Get to New York. That's your final big series, right? Outside of the Braves at the end of the season. Then you can go back to beating bad teams. Stay in the wild card. You're 5 up on the Detroit. You're 5.5 up on Boston. 6 up on Tampa Bay and Seattle. As long as you keep trying to win some games here in the matter of time until after New York, you're gonna be okay, right? But what we can't have is another losing series. We can't have another drought of wins of 7 games, because that's going to put you in close call coming in the end of the month. So I get it. And I think they made some nice free agency moves. I think more veteran leadership in the end for these Tommy Pham. can't remember his name, saved my life from the Astros and somebody else they made. So like Kansas City made some moves, and Tommy Pham hit a bomb today. So, but we're seeing stuff. They're seeing moves. They're trying to recover at the stretch here, and I think it'll be enough to get through the wild card. But I'm a little worried that when it comes time, Vinny may not be healthy for that wild card game most likely. So you're looking at another week or two before you get him back. So you got to keep it going. Got to pitch strong, and I mean it's really gonna be up to the pitching. I think at this point for the Royals.
Yeah, and I think the thing with Vinny is like we have to make a deep run for him to be back, and I just don't. I don't see that happening. I mean, if we win the wild card, I mean that would be amazing.
Oh,
but,
I'd be pumped. Get to a
you know,
series.
More power to them. Let's just keep supporting them as Royals fans, and let's see what happens.
Exactly. So we're gonna move on from the Royals here. Not much more to talk about there as we get closer to the playoffs and wild card. We'll keep bringing it up there, but it's gonna be an interesting role. So let's get to it, JG. Our favorite time of the year on this podcast is something that we love doing the most, which would be our
easy money bet of the week.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back at it here. I do got to get mics pulled back up, so please give me. Ooh, it's gonna be a little tricky to get mics back up in the meantime. So, because he had one, I do want to make sure everybody gets to view it as well. So, but let's. Ooh, this is not where I want to be. What in the hell? Drive. All right, I don't know what I'm doing yet.
Which game do you want to start with?
No, start with your NFL pick here. What's your easy money bet of the week, man?
Okay, so we're gonna go through all the games, right?
Yeah.
So okay.
Well, do you want all the games? That's pick'ems.
Yeah, I just want to pick all of the games.
You're gonna pick
quick.
a bunch at once, or you want to just do a quick pick'ems?
Whatever you want. So if you want my easy money bet of the week, the one that I am feeling really good about is Seattle hosting the Broncos. So Seattle is -6. The over-under is 42. I do believe Seattle's going to cover in this game. Seattle generally plays well at home, particularly their defense. And the Broncos, we don't really know what they are this year. I think the last time I checked, they might have been favored in one game. I do believe they might be playing Carolina in a game this year. That's the only game that they were favored to win. So they are favored to lose basically almost all of their games this year. So they're going to be a bad team, guys. So that's why my easy money bet of the week is going to be Seattle to cover. So I'm going to go Seattle -6 hosting the Broncos.
Just the one this week?
Oh, I'll give you another one if you want.
Yeah, give me one more, man. Start off strong.
So you guys know that I'm not one of these Cowboys haters. I'm one of these guys that doesn't really trust them. So I'll give you another one here. Cleveland hosting the Cowboys. -2.5 seems kind of ridiculous to me. The Browns have an amazing roster, and they've had a really good roster for the last couple of years. You just don't know what you're going to get out of that quarterback position. I do think they're going to get enough in this game from Deshaun Watson. And so, second easy money bet of the week, I'm going to take Cleveland Browns, and they will cover in this game. So they're -2.5. So give me Cleveland in that game, -2.5.
-2.5. All right. Let's get Mike's picks before we move on here.
What's up, guys? Welcome to a very sunburnt Mike easy money bet of the week coming up right here for you. I am out here in the amazing Playa del Carmen in Mexico, and I just spent the entire day at an island, as a matter of fact, across from Cancun. So it's been a hell of a deal. Sweat my ass off more than normal. Anyways, guys, let's get to the point. Chiefs-Ravens coming up here Thursday night. But my easy money bet of the week is going to be 2 picks from this game. And, of course, we're going to use a little homerism on this one for this pick. I want to have both picks in this one Do not do these as a parlay. I want straight bets only. Patrick Mahomes, the over-under on passing yards right now is like 264 yards right now. If you can get him in that range, take the over all day long. He's going for 300 in this game. Promise you that right now. And then the other one's Isaiah Pacheco, 15.5 yards receiving. Take the over on that as well. Pacheco is going to be featured in this offense now as more of a receiving back than ever before. So, guys, it's an easy choice on this one. So, anyways, take that to the bank. Easy money picks are in. Take them as straight bets. We're starting it off 2-0 for your bankroll.
I sure hope we start 2-0 for him. Tell you that much. You like those bets, Jason?
Yeah, I think it actually matches, particularly the Mahomes one. That matches up with my final score. I think he can definitely go kind of in that 280 to 290 range in passing yards, but still have it be a low scoring game.
Sounds fair to me. Let's look here at the slate for Sunday for me. And there's a few games I do like and I don't like at all. I do like your Seattle pick at -6. I love the Browns pick at -2.5 there. But particularly with me, I'm actually going to go. I like the Washington at +3 against Tampa Bay. I know it's Jaden Daniels' first game. I'm aware of this. I know they just traded Jahan Dotson, but I do love Washington here to make a splash. I don't think the defense for Tampa Bay is going to expect what Jaden Daniels can bring to the table as a rookie right away. And Scary Terry and Brian Robinson, Austin Eckler are going to be a phenomenal duo, along with Zach Ertz and Ben Sinnott in the tight end spot. I think you're going to see a little bit more action than you thought you would. And they have a scary D-line there in Washington. So for me, I'm going Washington, the Commanders, the Redskins, whatever you want to call them, at +3 of covering that spread. I think it's a closer game than even +3 here as we go into it here. And then do we do it? Do we do it? Do we just get into it? Do we just pick one? Do we just pick one, Jason? Jason, do we just pick one?
You can pick whatever you want. I if we're not going through the whole slate of games, then let's stop with that before you lose your ass, because the Bucs are going to destroy the Commanders. I don't know. You just pulled that one out of your ass, but hey, you never know. Let's see what happens.
I'm gonna stick to Mike here. I'm gonna be the homer guy, and I'm gonna go KU over Illinois -5.5 for football Saturday. KU -5.5. Look, they had an easy game. Illinois had an easy game, but KU is supposed to be ranked in they're top 9. They're number 19 right now in the nation. They're supposed to be top guys. Let's go Jayhawks -5.5 for football.
Okay.
There's no reason why they can't produce early on while Daniels is still healthy.
The Haycockers. Let's do it.
So I'm going KU -5.5. Let's start this college bets here, and let's get this here. So right now your easy money bets is Seattle -6 for JG and the Browns -2.5. Mike has Mahomes over 264 yards passing, and Pacheco over 15.5 yards receiving. And then myself, I have Commanders +3 against Tampa Bay there. And then KU, Kansas Jayhawks -5.5. And it's not basketball season, ladies and gentlemen. It is football season as we go into play. So that's your easy money bets of the week. Ladies and gentlemen, let's start going. Let's start riding. Let's get it going. But Daniels lost. Yeah, I know they lost to Penn State legend Hunter. It's okay. It's okay, Hunter. We'll be okay. I think Washington will be okay. But the Eagles just enhanced, right? The Eagles are just now better because they got a Penn State legend. So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes what we got going on to play. Jason, you have any final words for the audience here as we get ready for week 1?
Drive sober or get pulled over. I think I saw that on a billboard once. Drive sober or get pulled over, boys. Come on.
Oh, look, see, it did go down.
$500 for the bullshit.
And that's exactly how it ends, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll catch you up next week. Mike will be back, and we will. Oh, they do got the Mitchell Tinsley. Yeah, they do. Yeah, Penn State legend. So that's correct, Hunter. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll catch you next week. Mike will be back. Hopefully, we'll be talking about a W, and we'll be giving you some more easy money bets of the week, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get out of here.
Outro.
We'll see you guys.